Hey guys, welcome back. As promised, I have a review for you for the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 3D Blu-ray. So I'm just going to dive right into this real quick. When I was watching it last night, I decided to take a lot of notes on it because I didn't want to forget some key scenes that I thought really shined in 3D. So first I'm going to talk about Chapter 1. The scene starts out with your 2x39 widescreen aspect ratio. You've got the black bars on the top and bottom, and it shows about 20 baby raccoons, maybe, I don't know, a bunch of baby raccoons that are being held captive in a cage. They're all squirming around, and they're providing the audience with multiple layers of death, with some of the raccoons even seeming to just pop out off the screen a little bit. And then after that scene, during that scene, the end of the scene, I should say, it's zooming in on the raccoon's eyes, and then you see the eyes start to age, get older, because this is our main character, Rocket Raccoon, and the camera starts to zoom out, revealing the rest of his face, and as that happens, boom, we have an IMAX scene. Imagine my surprise, because the last time we had a movie in 3D with alternating aspect ratios was Black Widow. I thought that we were done with that. I'm not sure why we got a release that had alternating aspect ratios with this one, but I'm not complaining. Maybe it had to have been a creative choice. Maybe James Gunn was like, hey, this is my last Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I want to go out with a bang. And if you watch the movie on Disney Plus with their 4K IMAX enhanced version, it's a 1:90 aspect ratio throughout the whole movie. So there are no black bars if you're watching it on 4K on Disney Plus. That being said, I suppose that means that since there are quite a few scenes in this movie with 2x35 widescreen, that those scenes, are there are parts of the picture being cut off. The only speculation I have as to why he decided to give us a partial IMAX format with this 3D Blu-ray was maybe to support the frame breaking that he added in. Now, for those of you that have never seen frame breaking or don't know what that is, it's where, say there's an object that starts to protrude out of the screen, one of those pop-out effects, and you have black bars on the top and bottom, and then imagine that object, when it pops out, it starts to go over the black bar. It makes it look a little bit more immersive. It's very gimmicky, but a lot of people like it. I think it's pretty cool, but there's quite a few of those scenes in all of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, and I think this one had the most. And if that was the creative choice as to why he decided to add 2x39 widescreen on some of the scenes, then hey, I think it's pretty cool. I'm in support of it. But anyway, so it centers on that next scene that's in IMAX, centers on Rocket just walking around this, what looks like this outdoor marketplace type area on the planet Nowhere. And, it's panning around the area. You're seeing all the different Guardians of the Galaxy. Many, many immersive layers of depth here. And then he comes to, like, this cylinder-looking tunnel where he's going to walk through it, and the shape of his body is literally protruding off of the screen while the tunnel cylinder thing just goes deep inward. It's like, it looks like you could just walk in there with him. So that first scene was a pleasant surprise with the alternating aspect ratios. And then we go to Chapter 2, which is another IMAX scene. There's a lot of fight scenes here. This is where Adam Warlock comes in, and he's causing havoc. And there's a lot of fight scenes here that have multiple layers of 3D depth, as well as like lasers and fists and faces popping off the screen here and there. Let's see. There's Chapter 6. It takes place... I love this scene. Actually, there's quite a few scenes like this in many of the Marvel movies that take place in space. So it's Chapter 6 in the movie. It's a scene where Quill is in his spaceship in the cockpit area, and he's standing out looking out the window, the glass window. And so his silhouette, his body is kind of popping up off the screen. And then you have a second layer, which is the cockpit, his seats, the glass panel of the window, and then your third layer, which is the infinite space out beyond. And I love those scenes. I pretty much love almost any 3D scene that takes place in space. Let's see. We also have Chapter 7. Sylvester Stallone's character, he's a Ravager. He had an appearance or two in the second Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and he has a small appearance in this one as well. I'm still not really sure what his name is. I can never remember. But anyway, his character is describing a place in space that's guarded by deadly sentries. And so it shows this place in space as he's describing it. And you see these sentries floating there in space with these guns ready. They're guarding this place that looks like almost like an organic space station. And so there's many different layers here. But then, to my surprise, all of a sudden, and keep in mind this is 2x39 widescreen, so you have the black bars. All of a sudden, up from the bottom of the screen where the black bar is, one of those sentries pops up. And it really looks like it's just floating right out there in your living room. I mean, it is spectacular 3D. And then, of course, you have the depth of space in the background. That looks fantastic. Let's see. Chapter 9, this is the last note I took, because I didn't want to... The 3D is just so amazing throughout the whole movie that I just wanted to sit there and enjoy the movie, because it was my first time watching the movie to begin with. And I just wanted to enjoy it. I figured this was enough notes. But yeah, Chapter 9, there's this really awesome IMAX scene where the Guardians, and I actually saw this mentioned in a Reddit forum too, where the Guardians are in these astronaut-type suits, and they leap from the Ravager's spaceship, and they're gliding through space to reach this organic space station-looking place that I was telling you about. During this scene, it's fantastic because, as I said, you've got the 1:90 aspect ratio, so it's almost filling up your whole screen, and you've got that infinite space in the background, but the Guardians are literally just floating outside of the screen. I mean, it really looks like you could touch them. I'm sitting there 8 feet away from my TV screen, and it looks like they're like in the middle between my TV and myself. It was fantastic. Anyway, there were so many other scenes. I mean, I could have taken so many notes, but I figured I would just let you discover the rest of them on your own because it's just such a special movie. I will say, there was something I forgot to put here that I did want to mention. There is a scene towards the end. It's a very long fight scene with the Guardians, and they're trying to break into this facility, I think. And it's just a lot of hand-to-hand combat, camera panning around 360 degrees a lot of the time. This is frame break mania here. Like, constant frame breaks. You know, when somebody swipes at an opponent with a blade or something, that blade pops out off the screen and over the bottom, the black bars. All sorts of, like, fluids, like, I don't know what it was. It's not blood. I don't think it's blood, but all sorts of weird liquid fluids shooting out off the screen and going up over the top and bottom black bars. There's constant frame breaks there. And I can't remember what chapter that was, but it was towards the end. Anyway, but yeah, it was a fantastic movie. Normally I say be careful if you buy one of these movies because they are expensive, and 3D kind of is subjective. I feel like what some people might think some 3D is mediocre and it's not worth the $70 or however much it costs. But this is the way I'm gonna rationalize it with this one. It's a 5 out of 5 for three-dimensional depth, brightness, and pop-out effects. Not to mention, it's just a good movie, and I honestly think that it's worth the money. And also, another way you could rationalize it is, if you were going to be buying this, on 4K Blu-ray and 3D Blu-ray, assuming they still sold 3D Blu-ray here in America, you would have ended up spending $60 to $70 regardless, unless they came out with a limited edition combo pack. But yeah, unfortunately, you cannot buy this off Amazon Japan anymore, so I've resorted to buying it from dealers online on eBay. So all you have to do is go into eBay, type in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 3D Blu-ray, and as long as what they're selling looks like this, and make sure you read the description as well. Like, sometimes they'll say, oh, took the 3D disc out, you know. Yeah, as long as it's a brand new version of this, you're buying the right product. But yeah, I mean, we got spoiled on this one, guys. And I'm really surprised, too, because in the Reddit forums, people were saying that they saw it in IMAX 3D and they weren't that impressed. It was fantastic. I don't know. But if I had to rate them with the other Guardians movies, well, I give all the other Guardians movies 5 out of 5 as well. But if I have to pick favorites here, the second one is going to be my favorite as far as 3D goes. This one would be my second favorite, and then the first movie would be my third favorite. As far as the storylines go, this is my favorite movie. I was never really a huge fan of the Guardians movies. I just watched them because they're part of the MCU. But this one, I just was captivated by. I loved the story, very emotional. If you're somebody that really loves animals too, this is a tearjerker for you. But I'm not going to say anything else about the movie. I do believe it's kid-friendly. It's PG-13. I didn't recall any, like, suggestive innuendos or anything like that. I think it's kid-friendly. But, yeah, it's a great movie, guys. Thank you for watching. If you liked my review, please leave a like and consider subscribing if you haven't already. And have a great day.